What's going on, guys? We have the market in a bit of a panic because of this Deepseek AI stuff going on. We're going to talk about that a little bit, some of its shortcomings. We're going to talk about Microstrategy. They made another Bitcoin purchase. And we also have some very important events coming up that I think is also contributing to this drop. For one, we have the Fed meeting tomorrow and the next day, the 28th and 29th of January. We also have PCE coming out at the end of the month as well. Now, let's start off with this Deepseek stuff. So here I am on the leaderboards of AI chatbots, essentially. I'll leave the link down below for you guys. You can toy around with this if you want. But Deepseek is at the top of the list. Now, the votes that got it there are very low in comparison to others, so that's something to consider. Here we have the average win rate against all other models. Deepseek is not the top dog there. Deepseek has risen the ranks very quickly, and supposedly with very few chips needed. But is this true or false? Well, according to Elon Musk, these claims are false. Elon Musk has questioned these claims made by Deepseek, with Deepseek saying it only needs 2,000 specialized chips from NVIDIA to train its V3, which compared to 16,000 or more of these chips required to train leading models, that's quite a decrease in chips needed. Is this claim easily proven or debunked? While it hasn't been disproven outright, here's something very interesting. Musk responded to a clip of Scale AI CEO Alexander Wang, who said that Deepseek has around 50,000 NVIDIA H100s they cannot talk about due to US export controls. Musk writes in response, obviously. And he also replied to Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, who written Deepseek's now #1 on the App Store, surpassing ChatGPT. No NVIDIA supercomputers or 100 million needed. The real treasure of AI isn't the UI or the model. They become commodities. The true value lies in data and metadata, the oxygen fueling AI's potential. The future's fortune? It's in our data, deep gold. To this, Musk says, LMAO, no. This AI model isn't without its flaws. It fails to criticize the Chinese government. Are you surprised in any way? When asked to describe Tiananmen Square in 1989, Deepseek replies, sorry, that's beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. But when asked about January 6th, it provides extensive information on what happened here in the US. When asked to list some common criticisms of the Chinese president, the chatbot had no answers. When asking about Trump, it provides 10 detailed points. And here's a very interesting development. It seems like shit's already hitting the fan. Deepseek hit with a large-scale cyber attack, says it's limiting registrations. Is that really the case? Or can they just not handle this many users? Who knows? I don't have the answer to that. Kind of interesting that this is happening right now, isn't it? Deepseek on Monday said they'll temporarily limit user registrations due to large-scale malicious attacks. However, those that already have it are okay. How does that make any sense? Is it the user registrations that are being hacked and everything else is safe? Makes me question things a little bit. Existing users will be able to log in as usual. So these attacks only affect user registrations and not people logging in? While I love China and its people, we have to remember that China makes false claims a lot of times. And for a company that was only founded in 2023, do you really think this is going to disrupt the whole industry? If you do, then you don't want to buy stuff like NVIDIA and other chip companies. If you don't believe that, then this is a great buy the dip opportunity for the long-term companies you love. This is where it gets really interesting. This is where the questions lie. Estimates differ on exactly how much Deepseek's R1 costs, how many graphics processing units went into it. These are the questions that we don't yet have answers to. Jefferies analysts estimate that a recent version had a training cost of only $5.6 million, assuming a $2 per H800 chip hour rental cost. That's less than 10% of the cost of Meta's Llama. But is this true or is it false? This is just an estimate. Maybe Jefferies knows more than me. Or maybe Musk knows more than Jefferies. In reality, we need to wait and see what comes of this. No one here has a crystal ball. No one knows how many chips it took to get it to where it is. Regardless of the specific numbers, reports apparently agree that the model was developed at a fraction of the cost of rival models by OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and others. Is this AI bubble about to burst for us in the US? Or is this astronomical funding going to put us on top? I would argue it's the latter. Regardless of what happens with this Deepseek AI, does this mean suddenly NVIDIA is just going to go away? NVIDIA is just going to give up? Does this mean that now Bitcoin is somehow irrelevant? No. Is this a buying opportunity for the AI plays? I do think so, but it'd be nice to see them bottom out first. This drop might not be over. We also have FOMC. We also have PCE. This is going to be a rough week. It's not going to be an easy week. We do have news today that Microstrategy bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they also launched a $250 million preferred stock offering. They are still, and will likely for a long time, be the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin in the world, holding 471,000 Bitcoin. They are on their way to $50 billion worth of Bitcoin and 500,000 Bitcoin held. According to Sailor Tracker, this is the second and only other Bitcoin purchase that has lost value. The first was December 23rd, when Bitcoin fell shortly after. As Michael Saylor says, volatility is a gift to the faithful. And I've said this before, but in my eyes, it really resonates. Bull markets make you rich, but bear markets make you wealthy. Why is that? Because of that range. The lower you buy, the more multiples you'll get. If it's something that succeeds, of course. Now with this stock offering news, they launched this STRK, which is a new 2.5 million share preferred stock offering. And STRK holders can convert shares into Microstrategy commons under specific conditions. It'll also provide quarterly dividends from March 31, 2025, which will be paid in cash, Class A common stock, or both. Where is MicroStrategy in 10 years? How much Bitcoin do they hold by then? How valuable is this company in a decade from now? That, in my eyes, is the major question. And like I said, we do have FOMC. This is going to be January 28 to 29. We are very unlikely to get a rate cut in this meeting, but the market is anticipating a small chance of a cut next meeting or in the following. I'd assume it's going to be one or the other. If we get a cut in our following meeting, we're likely not to get one in the meeting after. If we get a pause in the following meeting, there's a good chance we're going to get a cut in the following one after that. But a rate cut is basically completely off the table in this upcoming meeting. A 2.7% chance of a rate cut. Let's go to the next one. Suddenly the odds get a little better, eh? 31% chance of a rate cut. 68% chance of leaving things current. Now, once we get our news for the next rate cut decision, this will likely change the scope of these. Look at May. We're getting much closer to an even chance of a rate cut. If we don't get a cut, which we are unlikely to in our meeting coming up here, and if we don't get our cut in March, I do think there's going to be a heavier likelihood of a cut in May, and these numbers will change by then. It also obviously depends on where our inflation takes us. And we have PCE coming out on January 31, the end of this month. So far it has been, in general, ticking up. If we get a 2.5, market's going to panic. If we get a 2.4 or 2.3, I think the market will be relatively pleased. But let me know how you guys are feeling about this week. It's definitely going to be a very volatile week. I think the claims from this Deepseek Chatbot, in terms of the chips used, are outright lies, and things will get surfaced soon. That doesn't change the fact that it's a very competitive model, as we saw in the leaderboards. I think we're going to hear something about this very soon. I don't think the US is just going to let China take over the AI space, especially what we've heard recently. And I quote, "The US is going to be the crypto and AI leader of the world." That was said not too long ago. But what do you guys think? Do you think Deepseek is going to take over and change the game? But thanks as always for watching, guys. Remember, don't let yourself get swayed over something just from one day of news. The way I see this is a buying opportunity. But let me know what you think down below. Is it game over for the US? Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.